What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Neiro, or rather first Neiro on Ethereum again, Saga and Trump. These three cryptos have been pumping the most over the last 24 hours. And I imagine lots of you want to know, how high are they going to go? Why are they pumping? How low could they go? All that kind of stuff. If this is the kind of content that you want to see more of, then smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell. We're going to be doing reviews of these kind of top 3 performing cryptos every single day from Monday through Thursday. So, be sure to like, subscribe, and ping that notification bell so you don't miss that. And before we get started, guys, do keep in mind that everything you're going to see in today's video is just kind of like my opinion, my personal analysis of the charts. Sometimes I'm going to be wrong. Sometimes you're going to disagree. Sometimes you guys will be right. And at the end of the day, we're all going to learn a little bit. And again, that's what this channel is all about, is just to learn so we can become better investors, better traders. Anyways, guys, with that being said, first thing we got here is Neiro, first Neiro on Ethereum. You guys might remember from yesterday's video, our first video, that we actually covered it. So I guess I'll first start by kind of like addressing that and what has kind of changed. To be honest, nothing has really changed. Of course, first Neiro went a little bit higher than expected. The target I had there was 0.0015. Went a little bit above that, wicked all the way up to 0.0018, which, to be honest, guys, like when you have a brand new crypto, when you have a meme coin, when you have lots of speculation and hype, it's especially now, like in this environment where I do think that altcoins are going to be headed higher, you're going to see tendency for kind of prices to surprise to the upside. And this is basically what happened with first Neiro on Ethereum, and it's something that, to be honest, I probably should have mentioned yesterday, is like, when, especially because I draw these very conservative estimates, and I'll be mentioning this in every video, is when I'm doing this target math, I'm always being super conservative, and I do it with the awareness that I know prices could go a little bit higher to the upside. And this is specifically because I'd rather be out of that move earlier and capture that profit than like try and ride it all the way to the top and hope that I can, squeeze it right out at that very top point. It's very hard to do that, guys, especially when you're dealing with all these bots and traders and whatever. So in this case, again, first Neiro went a little bit higher. We're on the daily chart here, by the way. So first Neiro went a little bit higher than expected. But to be honest, it's not really that big of a surprise. And I do expect now in this case for a retrace. If you guys might remember, that's really the only difference. If you go check yesterday's video, you'll see the only difference is that I was expecting maybe a little bit of chop around this range, around this 0.0015. But now I think we're going to get a retracement back down to resistance here. Over the next couple days, and it'll probably mirror like one of these moves back here where you see kind of like this retrace to this support. So that's what I expect for first Neiro. So again, like nothing's really changed there, just went a little bit higher than expected. It happens. And if you guys are wondering, of course, why is first Neiro pumping? Why did it go higher than expected? Of course, there was another little catalyst here. Again, guys, you might remember from yesterday that basically, of course, there used to be this Dogecoin, and this Japanese lady, she was the owner of Doge, like the original Doge dog meme, whose name was Kabosu, and basically tweeted yesterday saying that there's going to be a Doge day and they're going to try and break some Guinness World Record of all these Doges. I'm not sure what the exact date is, but this was the catalyst that seems to have pumped Neiro a little bit higher. You guys might remember that before that, it was a news of some calendar featuring all of this lady's animals. So, there you go. But anyways, guys, as you might have noticed here, we were actually on KuCoin, and Coin Bureau happens to have a KuCoin deal, which you can find in the description. Just go to the deals page and scroll down a little bit. You'll find KuCoin there with the trading fee discount of up to 60% plus the free trading bot. As I mentioned yesterday, as I'm going to be mentioning every single day, guys, is I know you're going to see these deals and like, well, it's not really going to help me unless I'm trading in size. Sometimes that's the case, but to be honest, guys, it has less to do with the amount of money you're trading with and how frequently you're trading. Even if you have a couple $100, a couple $1,000 and you're trading frequently, those fees are really going to eat into your profits. Especially, again, like the more frequently you trade, the more fees you're basically going to lose, the more profits you're going to lose in the form of fees. So that's really why you should definitely check out these deals in the description, not just for KuCoin, but all the other ones, and take advantage of those because it'll really help out. I personally love KuCoin, and signing up is super easy. You literally just click on that link that we have there, and then you just put your email, phone number, and you sign up, and it's super smooth, super fast. Again, KuCoin personally is my favorite exchange at the moment, and of course, if the Coin Bureau wasn't certain that it was an exchange that's kind of like trustworthy, then we wouldn't have it on the deals page there. We're very selective with the exchanges we choose. Anyways, guys, with that being said, now next up we have Saga. So again, before we take too close of a look at the chart, let's figure out why Saga has been pumping. It sounds like they made some announcements about I guess like being focused on liquidity rather than gas fees, and I guess kind of like a little bit of a promotion there. But the thing is that it's not, to be honest, guys, it's not really like a catalyst that really pops out to me. It's like, okay, like even when you go and look at this, you're probably going to scratch your head and think like, okay, but I don't understand why that would justify such a huge pump. It's possible, guys, that there might have been just like a lot of shorts. This is the one thing to kind of like that's easy to forget in crypto, is that a lot of the price action you see is driven not necessarily by like a catalyst or like obviously the catalyst is the trigger, but the most of the move is driven by leverage. So if everyone's going short and you get like a little bit of like a bullish catalyst, like something like this post, right, where you're kind of like, well, it's like a little bit bullish, but I don't see why it's like some game changer, right? Even though that's what they're saying in the post, obviously, like every crypto project does that. But when you get a little bit of that bullish bump, when a lot of people are short, then you get a huge kind of like short squeeze to the upside. And I suspect that this is kind of what's happening with Saga, although like if you look at the charts here, and again, we're on the daily, you can see it's kind of been chopping around. And to be honest, guys, the charts for Saga actually look very good. This is exactly the kind of chart I was talking about yesterday, where I was saying, like with these meme coins, it's like, yeah, like sometimes you can find like some good like, profit and like, or like a risk reward ratio, and like the profits like it could be pretty good. But like there's so many other altcoins that have just like a much better risk reward ratio. And here I'm going to show you guys that first up here that I've drawn the risk reward ratio for. Saga to the upside is basically like 3-to-1. So it's like 42%, 43% to the upside and like 13% to the downside, which is pretty awesome. Like that's looking more like something that I would be looking to trade. But of course, guys, don't go jumping in and thinking, oh, I'm going to now make all this money. You have to wait until you have to wait until there's confirmation, until there's a break above that resistance level, which is kind of what Saga is struggling with here right now. And we could see it continue to chop, honestly, for a couple of days. Wouldn't be surprising. It takes time for prices to go up. We're all conditioned that it goes up, like 1,000% in an hour or whatever. But for most cryptos, like it just, it goes up 5 or 10%, then it goes down 5%, and you're kind of like slowly grinding up. And once you break above that resistance, you see like a huge move up. And then that's when the targets are hit. So in this case, guys, as always, we got our handy target math here. So the starting point, again, being super conservative. So it's possible that we'll see an overshoot, just like we saw with Neiro. But again, guys, I'm always trying to be super conservative, especially when it comes to trading. I don't want to be thinking, oh, I'm going to catch the perfect top and squeeze all the juice out of this move. It's just, most of the time, it's just not going to happen. So I just prefer to be conservative. So in a conservative starting point, 1.5, again, you can make the argument it's closer down to like even 1 or even below that. But $1.5 going up here to the resistance around 2.75. And the difference there, of course, is 1.25. And when you add the resistance plus the difference, you get the 4.0 target. And in this case, guys, it's super helpful that you can actually go back in time and you can see actually, yeah, like it looks like prices were kind of clustering around that $4 level, which makes perfect sense, right? That's a very key psychological level, like these round numbers, $4, even like $2.5, $4.5, like just think of like, oh yeah, like that's like that just feels like a good price to be buying or selling, right? It's crazy actually how much psychology goes into this. But anyways, guys, yeah, like Saga chart is looking really good. But again, I'm going to be waiting. If I do decide to take on a trade, I'm going to be waiting until it breaks above that resistance level before putting on that trade. And I do think that the returns there will be quite nice, especially when you look back here, guys. You can see that there's barely any resistance on the way up. Like maybe you start seeing some around like $3.5. But really, like relative to what you saw down here, like here, there's a lot of resistance you can see around this range where, that's why the resistance is there, is that you can see there's all this like price action from before where a lot of people were buying and selling around that range. And you're probably you're seeing the same already happen again. But once you start moving up, you say, oh, wait a minute, like, there actually isn't much, stopping the price from moving higher. You can clearly see that with the lack of price action around that range. And of course, that 4.0 target, again, conservative, around psychological level, it'll either go slightly under maybe or slightly over. Because we were conservative, it's possible again that it'll probably go slightly over the same way that the same way that it did for Neiro. So just keep that in mind if you are trading that. And of course, guys, in this case, we were using Bybit, which you can also find on our deals page. You just scroll down. It's actually the first deal. We have up to $60,000 in rewards and 0% maker fees for 30 days. Again, that's going to help you out. Even if you're, if you consider yourself to be like a shrimp or a small trader, literally just go to the description, find that link, just click the sign up now button, and then just enter your email and password and get your welcome gift, and you're ready to go. Bybit is also another great exchange, one that I've been using more frequently personally as well. Anyways, guys, so now moving to the last crypto on the list, which is one I'm sure that a lot of you are wondering about, is Trump. This Maga meme coin, this Trump meme coin. A lot of these like Trump meme coins have been pumping. And why is that? Well, because on Polymarket, which, as you guys might know, is like a betting platform, basically Trump's odds of becoming president have risen significantly over the last 24 hours. Some people are saying, oh yeah, it's because of I don't know, like Elon Musk was campaigning with them, or because of the stuff in the Middle East, that like the current administration is not looking too hot. You're seeing all these sorts of narratives, but to be honest, guys, and I'll be straight up with you, especially with this Polymarket stuff, I do think it's actually a little bit dangerous, because if you think about it, all you need to basically increase the odds is to pump money into the market, and anyone can do that. And this is, in my opinion, this is where I kind of like differ from a lot of crypto people, is like look, like I'm super bullish on crypto. I strongly believe that it's going to change the world, but I'm not, don't trick me into thinking that this is some kind of organic price action here, okay? Like we have to be honest with ourselves. Like there's probably a whale who pushed up the price, and to be honest, guys, like it's possible that some whale pushed up the price of Trump odds specifically because there's all these bots, all these traders that are watching for when the odds of Trump of winning increase. All of these basically cryptos are going to start rallying, right? Because when they see the odds of Trump going up, they're going to think, oh, that means like my cryptos are going to keep pumping. So, there's almost like there's a scenario where some whale could come in and say, okay, well, I know if I pump Trump's odds of winning by X percentage by putting in, let's say, 2 million or 3 million, then I know all these other altcoins are going to pump by, let's say, 10 million or 15 million, and I'll be able to dump on all the retail investors that'll be aping in because they'll say, oh my God, like Trump's odds are increasing and whatever. But anyway, guys, so maybe getting into a little bit of a rabbit hole there. But point being, this is the catalyst. Whether it's organic or not, I guess is up for debate. I personally don't think that it is. But that being said, I do think there is going to be a big Trump victory in November for the simple reason being that I think all these assassination attempts and everything, I don't think that stuff would be happening if the powers that be thought that there wasn't a very good chance that he would win. They wouldn't go out of their way to do all that stuff. So that tells you, and if you can see it without getting too political, guys, you can see it all over the world, like even in Europe and elsewhere, that you're seeing these really kind of, let's say, shocking election results. So it wouldn't be surprising to me at all if we get kind of like a shocking election result in the US as well. But I do think that this in particular, this kind of like odds of winning, this increasing, I do think there's a little bit of manipulation going on there. Anyways, guys, moving now to this Trump meme coin. This is, again, I guess, pretty characteristic of like what you would see with most meme coins, where it's like, yeah, it looks like it could go higher, but the risk reward ratio just isn't really there to justify it. Like taking like a position or God forbid, like going long. I do think, again, like people who go long or short on meme coins, like they're just it's just too much risk. And even if the risk reward ratio is good, it's just not worth it. And in this case, guys, the risk reward ratio is literally just like 1.65. So like maybe 35% to the upside, but like 22% to the downside. You can see there's not that much support on the way down. If it gets rejected from this resistance level, it would go probably straight back to $4 and possibly even a little bit lower. And it's like, do I really want to, like just kind of like a coin toss, basically? Probably not. But again, guys, let's just go quickly through the target math here. So we have our starting point of $3, which is, again, super conservative estimate. And especially because, guys, you have to remember, as I was mentioning earlier, a lot of these moves in the crypto market are driven by like liquidations. So you do tend to see like a lot of these deviations, and this can really mess people up. Like when there's deviation above or below a key price level, a lot of people will think like, okay, well, I'm going to start my starting point down here from like $2. Whereas like, well, if you actually look, it's like that could have been just like some really abnormal something, like someone getting liquidated in DeFi and they had to like sell their Trump meme coins to like pay back the loan, like stuff like this. And this is stuff that you have to always keep in the back of your mind, is like when you see these really random moves like below or above like key levels, you have to think like, is this really organic or was this kind of like driven by some kind of leverage or liquidation or whatever? So that's, again, part of why I try to be super conservative in my estimate. So again, starting point, $3. We have a resistance around $5. The difference there is 2. So you take the resistance plus the difference, and you get the target of $7 there for this Trump meme coin, which again is not too bad. But if you zoom out a bit, guys, you can see that it's like, well, it's not too bad, but it's still not too good. Like there's still, you would hope that there's still a lot more room to run there. It's actually a little bit scary because it looks like the Trump meme coin is kind of painting this like huge slow motion like head and shoulders pattern where you could see like rally, I don't know, up to like $10 or something, and then collapse again in November. So I do think that so long as these odds of Trump increasing and all this news of like Trump's going to win and whatever, so long as that news continues, this meme coin is probably going to keep going up. But again, like the risk reward ratio just doesn't look too good, especially at this point. Maybe if it gets like to $7, then maybe it's going to be worth. But like even there, you can see there's just so much resistance between $7 and $10. It's like, do I really want to fight with that, or is it better just to find something like Saga where the chart looks absolutely phenomenal and there's just barely a resistance on the way up? It's like I would much prefer to trade something like that. Anyways, guys, if you did enjoy today's video and you want to get more of me, then you can find me on the Coin Bureau Club. I'm posting Bitcoin and Ethereum charts there every single day. And sometimes if I have time, I take requests from you guys if you want me to do like quick TA on some altcoin. And of course, I also showcase there my personal crypto portfolio. All the Coin Bureau team does. We show our crypto portfolios, our watch lists. We do weekly reviews of promising altcoins. And we also share a bunch of alpha in the members Discord, where we have, I think now more than 1,000 people there that are active, like in terms of the paying members. And it's super awesome. And again, thanks to all the guys in the comments. I'm sure you'll see a couple comments from people saying Dan's the man and whatever. Thank you guys so much for your support. And to anyone who's saying, you know, like, you speak a little bit too fast, I apologize. I listen to all videos on 2x speed, and as a result, I speak very quickly. If I speak any slower, it sounds kind of weird, but it would kind of mess me up a little bit more. So that's just the way I speak, guys. And if you are having troubles, then I do suggest slowing it down to like 0.75 or whatever what people are suggesting in the description. But in all seriousness, guys, if you did enjoy the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.